Okay, so before I start talking about Harry Potter, I have a confession to make. I accidentally lied in my last video when I said that between One Tree Hill and Glee, I think, I didn't have any obsessions, and that's just not true because High School Musical happened. So, yeah, I think the less said about that, the better, although I wholeheartedly stand by that High School Musical is still amazing. But it's just not the topic of this video. So, Harry Potter. If I'm looking over here, it's because I have very professionally sellotaped the questions to my mirror so I don't forget anything like I did in the first week when I thought a question. So, my house. I'm officially a Ravenclaw, as in Pottermore official. And I guess maybe I'm more of a Ravenclaw than anything else. I'm not that ambitious, so Slytherin's out. I used to be more of a Gryffindor, but I don't think I'm that brave anymore. Am I loyal? Maybe a Hufflepuff, but a Huffleclaw, Ravenpuff, that's what it is. Maybe a bit of a Ravenpuff, but officially a Ravenclaw, and I have the Ravenclaw t-shirt to prove it. Favourite character from the trio. So, if I'm just going with my heart, it's Ron, but if I'm going with my head, it's Hermione. Because I know that there are certain instances where Ron is a complete and utter dick, and, you know, he doesn't always make the best decisions, but he's also hilarious, and I'm sorry, Hermione. In person, I would probably be better friends with Ron than Hermione. I don't know. Favourite other character, 3 other favourite characters. So I've written down here, no explanation, Neville, Malfoy, Lupin. And I think that says it all. Least favourite character. So I have made some notes here and I've written nothing for least favourite character because of what are you meant to say. They're all amazing? Or if they're not amazing in an amazing way. I feel like if there's one thing that J.K. Rowling can do, it's characterization, and she does that really well in her other books. So even if you don't like them, they can't... Percy? Percy. Let's say Percy. Percy's my least favourite character. One favourite moment. I'm going to come back to that because I have no idea. It's called planning your videos better, Abby, but no. How were you introduced to the series? So Sarah got the books from a family friend, and I think I was a little bit reluctant to read them at first because fantasy novels aren't really my thing, and I also think at the time that Harry Potter came out, I was reading a lot of Victorian classics. I was into my Dickens and my Austen and the sort of stuff that I really despise now, but little 8-year-old Abby was like, oh yeah, I'm just reading Wuthering Heights. So once I read it, I loved it, I got hooked, but I was a little reluctant at first, and then I saw the error of my ways. What would my favourite lesson be? My favourite lessons always at school were the things I was best at, because why would you enjoy something you're not good at? I know that's probably an awful way to think, but I was quite good at chemistry at school, so probably potions, but then also we don't really see much of like Muggle studies, but it happens, so probably Muggle studies, that's quite like sociology, it's humanities-y, so maybe that, but if I were good at potions, just imagine being a Muggle and going into that sort of world and getting to do something like potions. That would be awesome. So I wonder if it really would be potions. Favourite professor? McGonagall, just hands down. I love Snape in the way that everyone loves Snape, but let's face it, McGonagall, especially, I would have butted heads with Snape if I went to Hogwarts. I know that I would. I would be making snide comments. We wouldn't be friends. So as a character, yeah, tragic, wonderful, oh, great man, you know, one of the greatest men, but McGonagall. Which Hallow would I take? Again, no question, invisibility cloak. Because the Resurrection Stone, I mean, Star Kids say this, it doesn't really do anything that special in the Wizarding world. Ghosts exist, and all the Resurrection Stone gives you is these weird ghostly people who don't want to be there. No. And the Elder Wand, tempting, but I would just love to be able to sneak in places and be able to listen to people's conversations when they think I'm not there, even if they were bitching about me. I would love that. Which character are you most like? I never know how to answer these questions, ever. I'm probably most like, I don't know, like one of the Patel twins, just kind of hang around in the background, gossiping. That's probably more me than any of the main ones. I can't imagine myself being overly heroic. Even like the Battle of Hogwarts, I'm really bad with blood. I'm not that. I hope I'd step up, but in reality, I'd be one of the characters in the background. Maybe one of the Creevies. So maybe I would be fangirly and yay, and then when it came down to it, die heroically. 3 spells you'd most like to be able to perform. Accio. Duh, obviously. Didn't make notes for this one. Accio. 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 Exactly the same reasons that Sarah said when she was answering the superpower question, that just to be able to put my hand up and grab something, I want to be able to do that. So number 1, Accio. I mean, if I were actually in the Harry Potter world, Expecto Patronum would be helpful. But if I were just living in this world and just hiding the fact that I was a wizard, witch, that wasn't some sort of confession. Accio. It's not a spell, but I'd love to apparate. But it's not a spell, is it? It's a skill. So that's annoying. Would you have entered your name in the Goblet of Fire? Would Abby now enter her name in the Goblet of Fire? No. Would Abby in school have entered the name in the Goblet of Fire? Quite possibly. Would you have played Quidditch? If yes, which position? Yes. I would definitely have played Quidditch. What happens to the kids who aren't good enough to make the Quidditch? Are there B teams? Because it's a little unfair for the whole school to only have the 1 Quidditch team per house. So only have 4 Quidditch teams. What if you're just a little bit shit but you still want to play Quidditch? I hopefully would be in the actual team, and I reckon, so in hockey I was always defence in hockey, and netball, but less defensive than netball was. Defensive in hockey, and I was aggressively defensive. So I would just, rather than let them get a goal, I'd kick it out of the goal area, even though that's against the rules. So it would have to be something like beta, probably. That's probably where my sporting technique would lie. I'm not a graceful sports player, but I was in all the teams at school, I think, just because I just hate losing, so I would just be so aggressive to make sure that we didn't lose, because who wants to lose? What form would your Patronus take? Cat. What would your profession be in the wizarding world? Okay, what professions are there in the wizarding world? I would be a shit teacher. I don't think I'd be a great aura. I don't think I could be a professional Quidditch player. You know what? I'd work in Flourish and Blots or something. There we are, I'd be happy. It's not one of the prestigious things, but I'd be happy. Okay, one favourite moment. I missed that one out. I'm coming back to one favourite moment. Well, I should have thought of this better. I just thought I'd have a moment of inspiration, but there are 7 books. 7 books. How are you meant to pick one favourite moment? I'm not... Maybe... Okay, Neville is so obvious. It's like such a stereotypical answer probably, but I've already said that one of my 3 favourite characters was Neville. So probably Neville, you know, killing Nagini. But I also have a soft spot in both the books and the films for the whole sequence when you find out Pettigrew. So the end of Azkaban. I don't know, I like, you know, you get Lupin and Sirius. Sirius is he was a contender for my 3 favourite characters. As was McGonagall, but I got to mention her in Favourite Professor. So I think, and all that, and you get to see it, there's a hint of the Snape aspect, so maybe that would be one of my favourite moments. I kind of was a cop-out on the 3 spells, wasn't I? I just Accio anything, and then I wouldn't really care, like, what, Lumos, that might be handy. I mean, who cares? Wingardium Leviosa would be fun, because that's kind of the typical thing, because you could just imagine, you walk up to someone in the street, say, I'm a witch! And they'll be like, oh, make a pencil fly then. Okay then, fine, can do it. That'd be fun. That's it. Those are my Harry Potter questions. I also think that it was briefly mentioned, I'm not sure, that we were going to talk a little bit about LeakyCon, and I have nothing to say about LeakyCon except that it was amazing. And I was so glad that you girls were all there, because it would have been rubbish without a group. Who else, when there were crazy people in the panels, I wouldn't have been able to look at anyone and give them that, oh my god, eyes. So it was amazing, and would definitely recommend, would definitely do again. 5 million thumbs up. And there we are. Harry Potter week done. And another year of Hogwarts ahead of the Wizarding World.